it gave me purpose. What can I say? It gave me purpose because at that time, you know, I lost my father. 2 weeks later, I lost my wife. Went to prison. 5 months after that, I lost my mother. You know, and this case kept me together. You know, this case done as much for me as I did for it.
In May 1996, while driving to his home in Polk County, Tennessee, George Lane falls asleep at the wheel after having worked multiple 20-hour shifts at a Georgia carpet factory. A head-on collision kills the driver of another car and leaves George in a coma. 2 weeks later, he awakens.
After he had been able to get out of the hospital, they arrested him and had him make a bond on a driving on a revoked license charge.
In July of that year, George arrives at the Polk County Courthouse to face 4 minor charges stemming from the accident. He rolls into the courthouse in a wheelchair, but the courtroom is on the 2nd floor, and there's no elevator in the building.
And they basically sent word back to him that he needed to get up there the best way he could.
So George decides to crawl up the stairs to get to court.
And he described how everybody looked at him, stared at him. The police officers made snide remarks about him, and how just absolutely, totally humiliated he was by that experience.
In spite of the attention George received crawling up the stairs, once in the courtroom, Judge Frank Hammonds does not call his case all morning, then breaks for lunch, leaving George alone in the courtroom with his niece.
I'm a man that I have more than one disability here. I suffer from disease of addiction. Therefore, you know, I have had a past. I still have this past. But this past is what makes me the man I am today. So I've had run-ins with the law and stuff. So I've known in Polk County.
Prior to July 1996, George had appeared in the Polk County Courthouse over 20 times on drug and alcohol charges. He waits for over 6 hours in the courthouse without access to a handicapped accessible bathroom, only to be told his hearing date is being rescheduled. So he crawls back down the stairs. On October 21st, 1996, when he returns to court, George sends word that he won't crawl up the stairs again and asks that he be accommodated in some other way.
They offered to carry him up the stairs, but in light of the disdain that he had been treated with the last time, he said the last thing he wanted those officers to do was to be responsible for carrying him up those stairs. He sent word back that he wasn't going to crawl up the stairs, and he would not have anyone carry him as well. And he said a few minutes later the officers came down and they arrested him and took him to jail for failure to appear. He was within probably 30 vertical feet of the place where he was accused of not arriving to appear for court. The Americans with Disabilities Act is not about doing special things for disabled people. It is about our country and our government making sure that all citizens, no matter their circumstances, being able to participate freely in one of the most important parts of our democracy, the administration of justice. So I filed suit.